Oh, man, I'm sitting over here talking. Could y'all not hear anything I just said? What's up, team? All right, we're here. What I was saying was that the SPY's pulling back a little bit. AMC and GameStop are kind of stagnating. GameStop did pop up to like 2650. We had Nvidia sitting almost at 1200 yesterday. Got up to like 1150s or a little bit over 1150s at the peak in pre-market this morning. Maybe that was after hours. But yeah, that's the market right now so far. We'll see if it holds. We got GDP data tomorrow. And then we have the PCE data, personal consumption expenditure, core PCE data Friday. And so this morning we also had some earnings dropping. We have Abercrombie and Fitch, Chewy, Dick's Sporting Goods, Advanced Auto Parts, Bank of Montreal earnings this morning. Nothing really big, to be honest, but, you know, somewhat relevant. We'll see what Dick's Sporting Goods shows. Chewy is Ryan Cohen's company, and so maybe there'll be some influence to the other meme stocks. Abercrombie and Fitch has been absolutely ridiculous of a mover. You know, somehow, guys, and again, it makes no freaking sense. Like, look, I think there could be stock manipulation in multiple different ways. Okay, Abercrombie and Fitch. Has anybody ever walked inside that store in the mall? Nobody's ever there. It's empty. Like, this was a store. Anybody that's my age, which is over 30, anybody that's over 30 knows what's up about Abercrombie and Fitch. Abercrombie and Fitch used to be like this really preppy, like, polo shirts, basically purely polo shirts and shirts and khaki pants and like shirtless dudes with techno music. That used to be Abercrombie and Fitch, you know. Now they've evolved to where they're kind of like, I don't want to say trendy, but kind of like I don't even know what you would call them now. But it's not the same. They completely redid themselves. But the problem is that nobody's ever there, right? So this stock to be at $153 a share right now, everybody knows it's not really looking this way. Let me look at the EPS. Let's look at their EPS. Yeah, I mean, for a company that over the last 10 years has really struggled to find profits in EPS, I don't know, man. I'm not buying this freaking price action. I'm not saying I'm gonna short it, but let's look at their revenue. I think revenue is gonna be a better look at what's going on with Abercrombie and Fitch. Their revenue has basically stayed the same, yet the stock price is up over 400% for whatever reason. I don't know why. Their revenue is basically flat. In 10 years, 15 years, their revenue is flat. I'm not saying I'm going to short it, but this is freaking weird. That's all I'm going to say. I don't understand it. Try to become a member, wouldn't let me. How do I do it? You click the little money sign. Click join. We don't have CPI today, do we? I don't think we have CPI today, right? Unless it's like first revision or something. No, the next CPI report's June 12th. Yeah, for May. Yeah, so we don't have CPI today. Where are you getting that from, bro? Maybe like... No, not Euro CPI either. Yeah, we don't... Oh, we get German CPI today. That's it. I see German CPI. I don't see Euro CPI. I see German. It's German CPI. Very insignificant to the broad markets. We got Michigan, or no, we got here, let me get some music playing. Hold on, chat. We've got NBA 30-year mortgage rates coming out. AUD CPI, what is that, Australian? Yeah, I don't see. I see Bavarian CPI. Bavarian CPI. I see Saxony, which I don't even know who that is. I gotta work on my geography. German CPI. And that's it. Nothing real major comes out in terms of CPI that's gonna be market influenced. Or that's gonna be influential over markets, I should say. Yeah, so SPY down to 526 is here. SPY stayed mostly flat yesterday. Oh, yeah. Those are states in Germany? That's why you don't know them? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I have no idea what any of those mean. But yeah, CPI today. Nothing of significant note here. Yeah, I mean, listen, in terms of economic reports, today's kind of boring. Tomorrow we got stuff. Friday we got stuff. All of next week we got stuff. But today is kind of like, we don't really have anything super big today. We're just going to cover price action and ride out. But yeah, so tomorrow we got jobless claims, GDP data, very big day. Tomorrow we got pending home sales, Lori Logan speaking, John Williams is speaking tomorrow. So John Williams is speaking today as well as Bostic, but they're speaking on later on this afternoon, this evening. Tomorrow we've got GDP, jobless claims, unemployment filings, and pending home sales data tomorrow between 8:30 and 10 a.m. for all that stuff. Friday is the biggest day today. We got Chicago PMI. We've got core PCE data, which is the Fed's preferred inflation metric. If you don't know what PCE is, it stands for the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index. It is what the Fed prefers to look at to gauge inflation, right? So basically, in the Fed's mind, it's a more accurate look at inflation, right? That drops to Friday. Expectations for that, for core PCE, which excludes food and energy, is at 2.8%, which is what it was last time as well. On the month report, they're expecting a 0.2% increase, so a little bit of a slowdown from the last time, which is 0.3. Next week, we got S&P Manufacturing PMI, ISM Manufacturing PMI, the JOLTS job report. We've got ADP non-farm employment, ISM Services PMI, S&P Services PMI. Jobless claims, we've got non-farm payrolls, unemployment all next week. So next week's incredibly busy. This week's, again, the end of this week is busy. Yeah, our CPI, United States CPI, is June 12th. So June 12th. All right, so needs a pullback immediately. What stock? ETF. No trades yet today. Tesla. Where's Tesla at? Oh, we'll see what we get. Tesla at 175. Poirier taking the belt back to Lafayette. Hey man, we'll see, dude. I look. I want Poirier to win. I really do. I hope he wins. I really do. I'm a Louisiana boy. I hope Poirier wins. I really, genuinely, obviously hope he beats Makhachev. I think the chances that Poirier beats Makhachev are about 5% or less. I think that they're trying to hype the fight up so people watch it because everybody kind of knows Makhachev's going to demolish Poirier. As much as I hate to say it, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he knocks him out in 10 seconds, but I don't think it's going to happen, you know. With the guillotine. I always wonder, is it like, you know, okay. I always pronounce it guillotine, like the L in guillotine is silent. But at my gym, people say guillotine all the time. You know, like even my coach, my black belt coach, is like guillotine. I always thought that L was silent, guillotine. But I think I might be wrong, and I might be saying it wrong. What's your analysis on Bitcoin? Is it on support for upward movement? Let's ask ChatGPT. Dude, I've been asking everything AI, you know? Where's my mouse out? Oh, there it is. It is silent. I don't know, bro. I'm at, like, when I hear higher belts pronounce it, they almost always pronounce it like this. Guillotine. I always thought the G or the L was silent because with the guillotine is an old machine that was used to, you know, that was the guillotine. And the L was silent. But I don't know if people, but the problem is that jiu-jitsu is either typically of like the moves in jiu-jitsu are typically either variations of Brazilian words or Portuguese or Japanese, you know, like sumageshi and all that stuff. And so, but I know guillotine is just, so I don't know if they're trying to pronounce it. I don't freaking know, man. In Brazilian, let's ask jiu-jitsu, do you pronounce the L in guillotine? We're about to get to the bottom of this right now. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the term guillotine refers to a specific type of chokehold. The pronunciation of guillotine in BJJ typically follows the American English pronunciation, where the L is silenced. It is pronounced guillotine. This pronunciation aligns with the general American English way of saying the word and is commonly accepted and used in the BJJ community worldwide. The focus is on the effectiveness of the technique rather than the precise pronunciation. So while regional variations might exist, the silent L is the norm. Boom. Dude, AI freaking answers everything for me. Thank you, ChatGPT 4.0. I appreciate it. Solving problems for me right now. Do you believe in alcohol? I mean, that's kind of a vague question. Do it like Santa Claus? Does alcohol exist? Yes. Do I believe in it? What do you mean, do I believe in it? Do I root for it? Like, what do you mean by that question? ECB expectation change rate cut. Yeah, so today we have NBA 30-year. We got NBA 30-year mortgage data coming out. So we're going to see whether interest rates go up or down. Like going out drinking every Monday and Thursday. No, y'all are trying to get me to rant, aren't you guys? I see what you're doing. I know. I mean, look, if you want to drink, I can't judge anybody. I'm not morally against anything. I think you should be able to do whatever you want to do as long as it doesn't hurt somebody else, you know? And so in that regard, sure, go out, you know, do whatever you got to do as long as it's legal and you're not hurting anybody else. Why so much interest in GameStop? No future for this company, really? I got it at the 15s for GameStop, and so I'm just watching it because I'm in cheap, and I want to see what happens to it, and it's kind of a fun thing to watch. Same thing with AMC, although I didn't get in cheap with AMC, but... Do you support it? Are you for prohibition? Of course not. Prohibition has never worked in the history of the world. Like, prohibiting something that the public widely uses is not going to stop people from using it. It's just going to make people go to sketchy markets to get it, and that's going to hurt people. You know, you might as well legalize it and regulate it is what I'm for. Same thing with cannabis. Like, legalize it and regulate it. If not, people are going to go to dealers who, you know, people always say it's the gateway drug. It's the gateway drug. It's the gateway drug because you have to go to an illegal dealer to get it. And eventually that illegal dealer is going to be like, yo, you want some of this stuff too? And that's how people end up trying more things. And I know that for a fact. You know, and so if you just legalized it and regulated it, it wouldn't be that. It not as much. You're always going to have problems with stuff, but, you know, legalize it, tax it, regulate it. That's what I'm for. All right, guys, it is 7 a.m. People looking for a rant today for sure. It's all right. Good morning, everyone. Pre-market and futures indicate a pullback today. Fasten your seatbelt for a bumpy and down road. Maybe, man. I don't know. I don't think anything's that definitive where we can say, hey, we're going to pull back. If it was, everybody would be rich. I kept moving my stop loss up on GameStop when it was pumping. Ended up making $10 on a $200 trade. Oh, that's 5%. I mean, that's good. 5% is good no matter what people say. I know we're in the stock market and everybody's claiming to make 5,000% weekly, but, you know, 5% is good. Prohibition created one of the craziest time periods in history. Yeah, I mean, listen, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You know, it just doesn't work. I think the huge irony is there too, because it was like this huge movement where everybody just turned against alcohol. You know, when they were like, yes, let's do it. And it was this big moment in history. And then everybody started drinking anyway, and it got actually worse. It built so much crime and caused so much crime. In the end, I think freedom of choice is an important thing, and you got to let people do what they want to do. As long as it's not hurting anybody else, you know, let people do whatever they want to do. For some reason, I'm having trouble finding stocks on Apex. Yeah, because stocks are not on Apex, brother. You know, Apex is a futures trading platform, so you can trade futures there. You can't trade stocks there. You can trade the S&P and the NASDAQ, basically the SPY and Q price action, but you can't trade individual stocks. It's not a stock platform, bro. Have you tried using ChatGPT to make a profitable trading strat? I have, and it's kind of worked. Like, check this out. So again, I've been building codes with this. Like, look, let me throw this up. So I built this code not too long ago using AI. It was kind of my logic though. So I gave AI the logic I wanted, and I just kind of and it works. Let me see. Yeah, so like, look at this. It's not perfect, but it does really good at like identifying tops and bottoms. Like, look at that. Nice little bounce. Look at this. Literally called the bottom. This one you got a little bit of a follow through back down. What happened to my mic here? There we go. Can y'all hear still? Efficient market hypothesis. Basically, efficient market hypothesis basically theorizes that in a perfect market, everything's random. And efficient is the way they call it. The other one is behavioral economics. I think both of them are true. I don't think neither of them necessarily contradict each other either. There you go. You should be able to hear the music now. Yeah, so again, I used AI to give me a 200-word breakdown of the efficient market hypothesis, and it's basically what I said. So the EMH is a financial theory proposing that asset prices fully reflect all available information at any given time. Developed by economist Eugene Fama in the 60s, EMH suggests that it's impossible to consistently achieve high returns than the overall market through stock selection or market timing because price movements are driven by new info, which is unpredictable. Yeah, I'm gonna avoid that question, Bob. I'm not, again, if it's too controversial, I'm just gonna avoid the question, But yeah, so going back to my indicator here, can y'all hear the music? You should be able to. It's what I've developed is pretty accurate. Like, check it out. Now, it's not perfect. Nothing works 100% of the time. But, like, it's not bad. I'll tell you that. Like, look at this. So, here's one. Beautifully called the bottom. We got a little pop there. I got to keep going back here. Look at this. Literally called the top. Look at that. You came back to the bottom. Literally called the bottom, too. Look at that. So, I mean, my little indicator here works, and it doesn't repaint, which is nice. It works better, I think, on like the SPY and Q, but it's not perfect. Like I said, it does good at predicting tops and bottoms. You need volatility though. But like, here's a good example. Like, look, called the bottom here, boom. Called the top here, dip. It doesn't happen a lot either. Is the problem. So like, it doesn't show up a ton, but again, it can be accurate. PCE is expected at 2.8% on the year for core PCE. On the month, it's expected at 0.2%. Is Chewy earnings out? Let me see. Yeah, so it looks like Chewy numbers are out. All right, so yeah, Chewy numbers are out. They posted net sales of $2.88 billion, net income, adjusted EBITDA of $163 million. EPS, adjusted EPS of 31 to 32 cents a share. They did pretty good. I wonder if these are going to help the other meme stocks. But yeah, Chewy gapping up a little bit on this news. How do you avoid repainting? You just tell AI to not allow it to repaint. Usually in terms of like logic, it involves waiting for the candle to close before sprouting up the indicator. If you have the indicator showing up in real time, like as the candle is forming, then a lot of the time what happens is that the alert can show up because it fits the parameters of it, and then as the candle changes, the alert will disappear and then come back or whatever it is. So to avoid that, you just you put some logic in the code that says, hey, wait for the candle to close before popping up the alert. Did you get any BJJ promotions yet, or still saying I'm just a white belt catching people slipping? Honestly, it happened yesterday, bro. I'm still a 2-stripe white belt. But again, though, like I haven't really seen my I haven't really seen my coach very much, and so like my coach works at another gym too, and so he doesn't like I don't see him that much, and so I don't know if I would have been. You got a couple different coaches at my gym. One of them seems to promote much faster, and I don't see him very much. Like I might see him go to that class, which is a night class, like once every couple months maybe. My coach doesn't really promote that much. But yeah, I'm still a white belt. I feel bad though because it's happened a lot where they're like, "Hey, what kind of belt are you?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm a white belt." And they're like, "Okay." And then like I tap them out in 30 seconds, and then afterwards they're like, "Okay," And then they go super hard, and they're like, "All right, bro." And so I stopped even telling people. Especially my favorite is no gi. I like no gi much more than gi. But that's why I stopped broadcasting what belt I was, and I just kind of started rolling with people instead. But that definitely happens. Yeah, it happened yesterday where I was rolling against a blue belt. And he was like, I asked him first because I always in no-gi I always try to ask him what they are. I'm like, hey, I was like, yeah, I thought I remember. I was like, you're a blue belt, right? He was like, yeah. I'm like, all right. And he was like, you're a blue belt too, right? And I was like, no, I'm still a white belt. And he was like, okay. And then we rolled, and I guillotined him in like 10 seconds. And then afterwards, he was like, all right. And then afterwards, he like just crushed me, just beat me up, not like actually beat me up, but he tapped me out pretty quickly afterwards. So half the time they're just kind of messing with you. Right. Then you get smashed afterwards. 100%. Yeah. That's what happened. But he was only able to tap me once afterwards. And then so basically we were 1-1 on the roll. But yeah, it was fun, man. I always like challenging myself with blue belts. ECB expectation rate cut, but markets bull run. Why? ECB. I don't know. I don't think the ECB is going to influence everything in a super heavy way. 30-year mortgage data came out. We got 7.05%. So the 30-year mortgage rate did increase a little bit week to week. Last time it was 7.01. Now it's 7.05. So the 30-year mortgage rate did come out. You can see it right there. Advanced Auto Parts also reported earnings. They posted a slight miss on EPS. Revenue came in lower than expected. Comp sales fiscal year was affirmed. We'll put this up on screen, but here's Advanced Auto Parts AAP. Not the biggest stock, but again, we're covering it. Yeah, we did have German CPI for some of these, but yeah, none of this is going to be super big. But yeah, there's Advanced Auto Parts. Look at Chewy bounce directly off the 200 EMA back up to $18 a share. Kava? Yeah, I hear a lot of people talking about Kava. I don't know anything about it, though, as a stock. But there's Chewy on the left. Here's Kava. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. AMC down to 470s. Here's Nvidia. See, look at these indicators, man. Again, I built this indicator. Look how accurate that can be. Again, this is a toss indicator, of course, but like, it doesn't repaint. The problem is it just doesn't show up very much. Literally calls the bottom, gets up there, calls the top, breaks down. So, not too shabby there, man. I'll have to keep testing it and building it. Jensen, gonna be the richest person in the world very soon. I think so. I think he's gonna be probably. My mortgage rate is 3%. Well, don't refinance, brother. Yeah, I think Jensen will be the richest dude in the world. What's his net worth? Let's ask ChatGPT. Jensen Huang has a net worth of approximately $91 billion. He owns 3.5% of Nvidia shares. So, yeah, I mean, if Nvidia doubles in price, he's going to be close to the richest person in the world, but it would have to double in price. So we'll see. All right, Nvidia back over green at 1140s. Yeah, he only owns 3.5% of Nvidia. Like just to put that into perspective, Elon owns approximately 21% stake in Tesla versus Jensen's 3.5%. And so, yeah. To look more in there, how much of Amazon does Bezos own? Jeff Bezos owns 9% of Amazon shares, and he's not even like involved with the. He's involved with the company, but he's no longer like an executive in the company. I think he might be an executive and board member, but I don't think he doesn't. He's not CEO anymore. Let me see. Let's see Meta. So again, Bezos 9%, Elon 21%. Mark Zuckerberg owns 13, almost 14% of Meta. So yeah, so there are. So I do kind of see that statement. Like Jensen owns a much smaller piece. So now, unless he buys back some equity, top three, dude. Top three, yeah. John is the #1 YouTuber in the world. Yeah, definitely top three, bro. All right, guys. No, I'm not gonna give you guys the script. Sorry, brother. Buy the dip today? Nah, it's not dippy enough. You know. I'm just not buying right now. Maybe if we get some decent pullbacks, I'll buy some stuff, but nothing yet. But yeah, sorry, I'm not gonna give you the logic for the code. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. So. Dixie breaking highs. That usually means the market's pulling back some. Yeah, SPY's dipping. Dollar index at 105, roughly. Red day incoming. We're certainly red so far. The dollar index usually has an inverse correlation with markets. So usually if the Dixie's down, the markets are up. And if the Dixie's up, markets are down. And the Dixie's up today, markets are obviously down as well. Although Nvidia is still kind of churning here, which is interesting. What's Meta been doing? So Meta had that big dip that we bought into after earnings. Bond auctions yesterday. Yeah. All right, so we're typing something in AI. I'm trying to use it to build something. Let me take a picture of this and use this as an example. The cool thing about the new ChatGPT 4.0 is that you can actually take pictures. Like if I want to build something, I could actually take pictures of it and say, hey, this is what I want. Like I want something that looks like this, you know? Yeah, so all right, so yeah, I'm gonna see if we can yes, I'm telling you, I've included a picture. It is just used to show the style. So let's see what it looks like. So we gave it a big amount of instructions. Here is the picture. Let's see what it shows us here. So we gave it a deep amount of instructions. Let's play with it. Yeah, this is a long amount of code too, which is good. I'd rather it be long. If it's too simple. Yeah. All right, let's try this. Let's open up a new one here. Cancel. Let's try this out. All right. All right, so we did run into an error. Let me send it a picture of the error. All right, so the cool thing is I can send a picture of it and say, hey, you gave me this error. Home market is red. I can really hear that keyboard. It's a new keyboard. It should be a little bit more quiet than my last one, but sorry, dude. Hey, what's up, chat? For quite a long time, do not see pre-market and futures go this low before opening bell. I don't think we're super low. I mean, like, people always get doom and gloom. I think bears get excited because the market's up so much. They're just kind of desperate for a pullback. But, like, if you put up a weekly chart, brother, today is, like, look, we got to zoom really far in just to even see. Like, look, here's a weekly chart. Okay. We got to zoom really, really, really in here. And even all of that, we're going to delete the drawings. All of this is only this candle. So, I mean, we're not that red. You know, it's not like we're crashing and burning this morning. It's just kind of, you know. All right, let's try the updated script GPT just gave me here. Nope, another error. Same error. Yeah, so AI, when you're playing with it, it does take a little bit of like experimentation. What's up, Aaron? Kashkari, did Neo Kashkari have some bad comments yesterday? Yeah, I'm definitely not the top trading expert in the world. Hey, thanks, Easy. It's on the internet, must be true. Sideways and down, likely an opportunity. I don't think we're down enough to buy it either. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Zora is obviously just kind of trying to start stuff, but again, I'm going to defend myself anyway. This TOS account right here, right? Most of my trading, I would say, involves, like, my best trading is investing in swing trading. In that, we are up thousands of dollars on Thinkorswim. It is 100% not a paper account. This account has almost $100,000 in it, liquid, 100K. And again, we are up thousands of dollars in this. The other thing we trade is a funded account on a futures funded account program, which is very standard in the industry. Most people day trading in futures are trading on funded account programs. You got some people that are trading on actual futures account, but again, it varies. I would say most are trading on funded account programs. And sure, we also sometimes trade challenge accounts. But again, the charts that you guys see here and the trades that I make is absolutely a real account. It is 100% not paper. It is a liquid, roughly $100,000 Thinkorswim account, you know. So Definitely not paper. But again, they're usually just trying to press buttons, creating fake accounts, and doing all this stuff. So when you grow on the internet, people get weird, and that's part of life, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna see if ChatGPT fixed this error. Okay, let's give it this one now. All right, so it got a different error. I like it because I don't have to give it any more data. I can just take a picture of the error I'm seeing. Thank you for the screenshot. Okay, got you. Cool. Anyone want to see Nvidia at 1164 in overnight trading? We're going over 12s. I mean, we're at 1140s right now. At the highs for Nvidia, it got up to 1152s, 1153s. Hey, want to know your opinion? Have you noticed an overall volume decrease within the last 8 to 12 months, at least on more volatile stocks? No, not really. I mean, if you look a weekly chart up, like the market has different phases. But if we look at, like, say, Nvidia here, here's 22, 23, 24. It's all basically the same. If we look at the SPY itself, if we zoom out here, if we look at the SPY itself, 23 had a little bit more volume than 2024, but we're still early, and this doesn't include the winter months, which is usually a more volatile part. Like the most volatile parts of the market, the most volatile phases of the market, I guess is a better word, is the fall months. So October, November, December, January are the 4 best months for the market. It's the 4 months where we have the most action, the most volume, the most interest, the most news, the most traders in general, I would say. The slower months are the summer months, is what we're in now. Yeah, for sure. No, it's a ridiculously good, like, ChatGPT 4.0 is powerful, man. Like, you don't even have to, like, type stuff in. You could just say, here's a picture, fix this, and it will. It takes a couple tries sometimes, but, like, it does pretty good job at it. Yeah, I'm trying to back test this a little bit more. Let's see. All right, so there's Nvidia up to 1140s. GameStop still at 23s. Yeah, I'm looking for other stuff, but it's so hard to find good volume today. We had Chewy release earnings. Chewy is holding some of its gains. It had better than expected EPS and revenue, I think. All right, let's see if it fixed it now. All right, we're still building this. Anytime the code is longer in AI, it usually is going to take a couple updates. Sorry, bear with me. We're kind of... Anytime you code, this is going to happen, where you got to fix the glitches. Fix this object here. MR should have some. What do you think of all the crazy GameStop options? I think they're volatile. Don't catch a falling sharp. Yeah, it's don't catch a falling knife is usually what they say. It basically means don't try to catch, don't try to buy up pullbacks. But I think that's wrong. I buy up pullbacks all the time and it works. It just depends on how you do it. I think nothing is 100% in trading. I think there's profitable ways to do it, and there's profitable ways to do what we're talking about here. Like, one of my favorite strategies, here's Abercrombie's numbers. They are out. So Abercrombie did report, they posted 214 versus 174, revenue of 1.02 versus 96 or versus 960 million. They raised guidance as well. So here's Abercrombie and Fitch numbers, and they are up a little bit, but they're kind of pulling back afterwards. But no, one of my favorite strategies is looking for deep extension pullbacks, like deep extension dips, like looking for things that have pulled back massively and then buying up whatever it is, as long as it's a blue chip healthy company that I believe in, as long as it's that, I find that works really well. But again, it depends. All right, chat. Let's see what else we get. Yeah, so we'll see if this one works. Look at Abercrombie. See, Abercrombie Fitch is so weird. Again, we talked about this one earlier. But if we look at A&F's revenue, right? So a company that has gone up 400% in the last year, you would assume would have increasing revenue. This is their revenue quarters. So this is their revenue over the last few years. It's basically flat. So how is a company that's up 400% having flat, neutral, sideways revenue? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, look at the graph of Abercrombie and Fitch. Like, I don't know why this one's pumping up like it is. When I go to at the mall, nobody's ever there. It's always empty. Look at the yearly chart on this stock, though. It's crazy. I'm never gonna buy it. I don't care what the chart looks like. It's just too much risk, especially up here, up 400%. It's just too much risk. But man, interesting. For sure. Yeah, Reddit has gotten a little bit better. But I'm looking at our Reddit stock. Somebody mentioned it earlier, so I'm kind of looking at the stock. But Reddit, it's at almost $60 a share. So it dipped all the way down to like 37s back in April. And now since it's bounced back pretty steadily, I just don't know how well they make money is the problem with me. Like, I don't know how well, I don't know how profitable they are margin-wise, you know. So that's the only thing. Like, I don't know how profitable they are margin-wise. I don't know what their margins actually look like. Anybody know a better look into margins? Laundering, maybe, man. Abercrombie Fitch could crash like Lulu. Yeah, man. I mean, I tried to tell people, bro. Like, you get people that are just like, what I notice is that the market is so full of people. Like, there's so much emotion. You know, if you tell somebody something that they do not want to hear, anytime I tell people something, I'm usually like, hey, I could be wrong. I'm biased. I might be wrong. Nobody knows. Like, I always kind of preface everything with that understanding that, like, I certainly don't know for sure. But when you tell somebody something that they don't want to hear, a lot of the time they can get emotional and just kind of lash out. I told a couple different people, I don't like Lulu long term. Lululemon, super risky. Fashions change, brands change. I know this because, look, I have a wife, right? If I go out shopping with a wife, she'll tell me what brands people still use. Like, I'll ask her about these luxury brands like Birch, like Tony, is it Tony Birch? I don't know. Like Gucci. Like, there's all these different brands, and these fashion brands are bigger than Lululemon, you know, but over time trends change, fashion changes. And so Lululemon being a relatively new company that's up a lot short term, when we look at Lululemon's chart, you know, it's up a lot over the last like 5 to 10 years. There's nothing holding that one up. There's nothing guaranteeing that Lululemon is going to be like some big established brand. And in fact, I would argue that Lululemon got really big during the pandemic. Like, during the pandemic, when everybody was stuck at home, that's when people started wearing this kind of leisure fashion, right? And that's not going to stay that way. It's not going to always be that way. People are going to transition to different fashions and different things. And so that's not a good bet on Lululemon, in my opinion. It's not a safe bet long term. Like, short term, money making machine, very profitable company. Long term, it's risky. Long term, it's risky because, again, go back to Abercrombie and Fitch. Nobody shops there anymore. I mean, that might not be the best example, being up 400% in a year. But Hollister, same thing. You could do the same thing with Hollister. You could do the same thing a lot. Like, I'm not saying there's not outliers that have succeeded in that way. Of course there are. But am I going to bet everything on it? Of course not. It's just a risky bet. And again, I've been saying this for years. Yeah, Nike's going to be fine. Ralph Lauren is going to be fine. Those are legacy companies, though. So, like, comparing those to Lululemon, it's just different. You know, those are legacy companies that have been around for, you know, decades and decades. Lululemon hasn't. Lululemon's still a pretty young company, and so it's still very up in the air, and that's the risk. I disagree. If Kim K came out pushing Tommy Hilfiger, I bet the whole younger generation would follow. Sure. I mean, I'm sure they would for a very small period of time, but it depends on, but that's under the assumption that they're going to do that with Lululemon. That's exactly my point, though, is that it's very trendy and it changes generation to generation. You know, like, basically young people don't want to wear what their parents wore. You know, and I think that changes over time. I think what's cool to one generation is not cool to the other, and that's very consistent. They're very consistent, you know. So I think it really just depends on, you know, there's a lot of luck involved, I guess, is the point. Yeah, I mean, Johnny Cruz, if you think I'm just kind of knocking a new company, you're not listening, bro. Ralph Lauren is still big. I wear a lot of polo stuff. They've been around for a century now, though, so like that's pretty consistent. When is inflation data? Inflation data is later on this week. Look at Express. Yeah, exactly. Express is a beautiful example of what I'm talking about. What is it? EXPR? Are they not a stock anymore? Is Express not public anymore? Yeah, so look, here's Express. Same concept. Express used to be a big brand, huge, had a lot of people there. Over the last 10 years, they have completely failed. Fashions change, man. Trends change. Brands change. Interest changes. Over time, very clear. Yeah, and Express isn't even around anymore, so they must have gone bankrupt. All right, here's the Q. Q up to 460s right now, though. Q, again, the Q and the SPY are still right around lifetime highs. That's why people are saying, hey, are you buying the pullback? No, not really. Apple's starting to fight back, though, so we'll see if Apple holds. Millennials are getting old, man. Yeah. I'm getting old. I'm a millennial. I know this, you know. All right, let's go back to... Let's start building this. Let's see if we can get AI to give me a working code here. Wait, what happened? All right, still building here. I'm getting old, yes, 100%. Inflation data is coming out on Friday. Express file Chapter 11. Chapter 11, is it reorganizational? I feel like Chapter 11 is reorganizational. Chapter 7 is dissolving the company. 11 is reorganizing the company. Think of Hertz. Like, Hertz actually had one of the successful instances of this. FFIE and Nvidia collaborated win. All right. SPY bouncing back up. About to hit the 200 EMA here. So is the Q. Yeah, so Bed Bath & Beyond did file chapter. I don't know what they filed. Yeah, we'll see. Give me a company so I can value my DCF models. Apple, Amazon, Walmart, Meta, Chewy, Disney, Ford, Google, Home Depot. All right. Let me exit out of some of this stuff. Yeah, Abercrombie and Fitch is just strange, man. Just very strange. You know, there's no way I'm gonna buy it up, but alright, let's see if it fixes this. Taking a while to load. Ooh. Alright, so the code finally worked that I've been building here. Problem. Is that when we zoom in? Ooh, okay. All right, so that worked. My mom's doing okay, Faye. You know, her husband passed away recently, but she's doing all right. New research, by the way, smartphones. What I was really impressed with AI for is the ability to use it for stock stuff, dude. So, yeah, so you could use, All right, chat. Wait, where'd it go? There we go. All right, so we got the code to work, but it's a little bit too loose logic here, so we're still building the back end of it. I'll try to show you guys afterwards. I wonder if it would work for, I would have to have it adjusted for ThinkScript, for TOS. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna have it fix the code. Let's see if it does that. All right, guys, so we're gonna start getting ready to trade here. There's GameStop. Yeah, 100% Blaze. Also, y'all join our Discord, man. We're trying to grow the Discord a little bit now, so I'm gonna have to set myself an alarm to y'all join our Discord here. Yeah, I'll put the link up. Here's our Discord link. Join it, completely free. Yeah, and if you want to get in touch with me, that's the easiest way to do it, is through there. Alright, still playing with this. See if this fixes it. There we go. Alright, so that's the first time the code updated with no errors. All right, let's adjust it some more here. Back testing, building. GameStop should be going down. Plug is down. Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that's true anymore, Yair. I think, again, I think that you're just kind of, I think you might be being a little bit too rigid in your viewpoint of things. Like, the market's not just following Nvidia anymore. If you look at Apple, you know, this is a weekly chart on Apple. So Apple's getting close to lifetime highs here. If you put up a yearly chart, Apple's green on the year. If you put up Meta, this doesn't have to do with just Nvidia. This has to do with the technology of AI, right? So this has to do with AI and the technology of it. It's not just Nvidia, you know? Like, this has to do with AI in general. So, and you can see that by looking at Meta stock is up big on the year. You can look at Google stock, it's up big on the year. You can look at Microsoft stock, it's good on the year. It's not just Nvidia, it has to do with AI. Now, sure, Nvidia is up a ton on the year as well, of course, but everything's up big on the year because of AI and tech. And so I think what you're missing is, you know, your assumption that the market is only up from Nvidia isn't necessarily true. I think it's mostly that the market is up from AI. And I think people recognize the game-changing potential of artificial intelligence and where it's at now and where it's going to be in the future. And I think a lot of industries are going to be changed from this technology. And so I think it does make a lot of sense that the companies that are building these AI systems are going to grow crazy amounts in this short period of time. And I don't think that's an unreasonable, or I think that makes logical sense, you know, but maybe I'm wrong. I certainly could be wrong. And again, I hope we can agree to disagree without you necessarily being upset or anything like that. Yeah, but we already had the news. What news are you talking about, Yair? I mean, again, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What news? You know, again, I think you have it wrong in that you think it's just one news source. Like, there's, again, what I talked about yesterday, people were asking, hey, can this trend continue? What I said was that roughly every 3 to 6 months, you have a new variation of Chat GPT. You have new AI systems coming out. And so if that trend continues, it's not like it's just one news source that's causing this up. These are multiple different releases, multiple different catalysts within the sector of AI that are causing hype, causing interest, causing strength. And I think, yeah, you know. And again, I've been sitting here saying the same thing for the last year, and then in that time, I've been correct. And so I do think it's been somewhat predictable as well. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Right, exactly, Blaze. 100%. typically what happens, Blaze says, at the end of the day, people said the exact same thing when it broke 400, 500, 600. It's always over. It's always overextended. It's always dangerous. Right. And again, I think they get really rigid with a bearish view. And instead of kind of taking it, I think you have to look at it a couple different ways. And there's good and bad things about this current market, right? There really is. There's good and bad things. Some of the good things is that AI really is that game-changing technology, in my opinion. I think AI really changes tech, changes production specifically. Like, it changes how people produce technology. And it's going to cause an exponential growth in that. Like, it's going to cause people to be able to produce technology much faster, much easier, and much more complex technology. And I think that is very clear when you look at AI systems right now. Like, just in their current form, very clear that that's what's happening. That is the root cause of the growth in tech, because people understand these. It's kind of the gold rush of technology right now with AI. It's another kind of like internet boom almost, right? And to say some negative things, you know, in 2000, we had a dot-com crash from internet companies and this new technology sprouting up, growing, and then correcting, right? And so it is possible that one day we get a correction similar to the dot-com crash that we got in the late 90s and early 2000s. That's very possible as well. I'm not saying that's not going to happen. But what I'm saying is that in terms of like the growth versus technology, I think the correlation is there. I think it's very clear that AI is that next thing, and I think what we have right now is kind of a gold rush of businesses, of growth, and of like a gold rush of interest from AI right now, and I think that's clear as well. And who knows where it's going to lead? And again, maybe we do get a correction. I'm not sure, but I know the companies involved with it are big companies. You know, the reason we got the dot-com crash is because a bunch of small companies IPO'd, got big, and then crashed basically. Most of the companies involved with AI now are not small companies. Most of these are very big companies. And so, we'll see. Do you really think it can go 5% a day or even 2% on an extended period like right now? Of course not. It's not going to. But again, Nvidia, you have to look at it like this, right? Nvidia, we're on one of the growth phases. Eventually, this is going to slow down. You know, so like we have the growth phase. We get slow down. Sometimes we get corrections, and then as time goes, you go like this, and you keep going up. It's not like you can't take one small percentage and then extrapolate that like we're gonna do that all the time. Like, you can't take 3% and then say we're gonna do 3% every day. Of course, that's not gonna happen. Eventually, it's gonna slow down. We're on one of the bull runs for it right now, you know. And so maybe it holds, maybe it doesn't. I really don't know, but I think the reason for it makes sense. You know, I think the reason for it makes sense. John, it's 50% in a month. Sure, but again, Yair, it doesn't have to, like, saying something's up 50% in the month and so acting like it has to continue at that rate. So I guess if something goes up, here's an example. If something goes up 100% in one specific day, I can't say, hey, this is doing 100% a day, and then use that to say, see, it's just unreasonable. Not necessarily. Like, it can do 100% in a day and then slow down. It can do 50% in a day and then slow down and then maybe correct some. I'm not arguing that it's not going to do that. What I'm saying is that the growth makes sense with how big AI is getting, and I think the potential of AI is what people are betting on. I also think that long-term, like, the market's going to move up, because that's what markets do long-term. You know, short-term, anything could happen. We could have corrections. Again, the S&P will give you about 10% a year, roughly on average, and that includes crashes. And so what that means is that on good years where we have these big bull runs and these big bull markets, the market's going to do much more than 10% to compensate for the times that it does crash as well. You know, when it crashes, eventually going to happen, of course. I'm not sure when. All I'm saying is that it's like stocks can make big percentage moves like this, you know, and if the technology is that next big thing, I think it makes sense and it's justifiable. But at the same time, in no way am I saying that the market is going to hold. I don't know. Again, I really don't know. I think one of the things you also have to look at, just to say bad things, and I'm not saying necessarily agreeing with the Yair, I'm just kind of trying to give both sides so we can try to look at the whole picture objectively of AI and the tech growth that we've had. Again, in the late 90s and early 2000s, a lot of companies bet big on the internet. And the internet really was that big thing. Like when you fast forward 20 years later, you can look at and see the internet was that thing. It really was the big thing that people were betting on. But even though it still was like a good business, a good industry, a good, like a legit tech growth, a legit run in tech that was in hindsight justifiable, the market still crashed. And the correction that we got from that crash in the late 90s and early 2000s was one of the longest lasting bear markets in history, right? So it wasn't bigger than the 20s or anything like that in the 1920s, but it took a long time. You know, like the market still, like we got up to specific high levels and then pulled back really, really big. And we stayed under those highs up until 2008. So it literally took like a decade or more for us to get back to those levels. And so I guess my point is, even though AI really is that next big thing, even though in my opinion AI is a crazy good technology that's going to cause exponential growth in production and technology, I still think it's possible that we correct in a major way. I hope we don't, but it's certainly possible. I'm not saying we're not. But I also, on the other end of that, I also think acting like it has to correct and acting like it's just nonsensical, like things are just up too much, I don't think that's true either. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle there, and I think nobody knows what's going to happen. We can only kind of sit back and wait. Yeah, but looking at what Nvidia was doing in 2002, I don't know if that's relevant at all. Yeah, I just think, I think AI really is that thing. And I think people who miss out on this, like, I'll put it this way. I think in the late 90s and early 2000s, really it was the late 90s, because I think by the 2000s, people were kind of on board. But I think you had a lot of people doubting the internet, saying nobody's going to buy things on the internet, nobody's going to use it, it's just hype, it's overhyped, it's just buzzwords, the internet, nobody's going to buy books on Amazon on the internet, guys. Like, you had a lot of doubters there, and again, those doubters had to eat their words as time went on, because the internet really was that thing. Of course, the evolution of it now is crazy. I think this is another one of those things. I think AI, in terms of how we use it, I think when you combine AI with quantum computing, the next 10 years are going to be crazy. Legit crazy. I think if you combine AI with quantum computing, the next 10 years in terms of discoveries, in terms of building and production, in terms of tech growth, I think it's all going to be crazy different in 10 years. And I think the people who ride that wave are going to get rich. I think there's going to be a lot of people that have and will be very, very wealthy from this growth in terms of starting businesses, building businesses around it. But at the same time, it doesn't mean we're going to keep going straight up. It doesn't mean that, Yeah, retail always does this, 100% Blaze. It really is. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that throughout any market in history, everybody's saying there's four things that everybody is constantly saying universally throughout history of markets. Number one, we're about to hit a recession or depression, right? No matter where we are, market can be thriving. You got some people that are just, recession's coming, guys. Eventually, if you throw darts at a dartboard, eventually it's going to happen. So eventually we will get one. I don't know when. Might be 10 years, might be 2 years, might be 6 months. I don't know. That's the number one. Recession's going to happen. Number two, market crash is imminent. This is the one I hear the most. People were telling me the market was about to crash here, and we did a huge bull run afterwards. And again, I think some of those guys are the ones that are still mad. But again, people were telling me the market was going to crash here, and then huge bull run. And so number two, market crash is imminent. I hear this one the most running a stock channel. Everybody thinks a market crash is about to happen. Usually you got gurus just kind of telling people the market's going to crash. I think, again, my theory is that it comes from day traders, right? Day traders day trade the market. Eventually they get their butt kicked in day trading, so they kind of grow and evolve and start trying to cover like economics and markets and broad markets. And again, they're so used to shorting and short-term price action and big upwicks and downwicks that they overestimate the likelihood of market crashes. And so they start telling their following, hey guys, the market's about to crash, just watch, and then it doesn't happen. And so then they tell people again, hey, the market's about to crash, and then it doesn't happen. And then what happens is they look for very small pullbacks. They'll wait for the market to do something like this. Maybe they call the crash here, but then when the market does something like this, they say, see guys, I told you, the market's going to crash. And it's like, that's not a crash. But I think that happens a lot as well. All right, so that's 2. Number 3 is that the numbers are fake, right? Manipulation, the numbers are fake. Now, this one can be kind of sometimes true. Sometimes the numbers are fake. Sometimes the numbers are manipulated. That does happen. I don't think it happens nearly as much as people claim it happens, but, the third one is that numbers are fake, all that good stuff. Number 4 is the opposite, is that, markets are going to moon. X stock is going to go up 1,000% or whatever it is. The mother of all short squeeze is going to happen. Sometimes it can, sometimes it doesn't. But you hear those 4 things like clockwork every freaking day. You hear those 4 things. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is so that you understand that if you hear that in the chat, it doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it true. Everybody wants to claim to know big things in the market. I always try to tell people the truth, which is I have no freaking idea what the market is going to do. Anyways, Chewy is up there. Let's take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia up to 1140s. Yeah, this is the only start. This is only the start, guys. Yeah. That's funny because I'm in Discords that swear on this. Yeah, 100%. Again, it's human nature to want to predict the sky falling. But, in the end, again, I'm going to tell you guys the same thing. I'll probably repeat this over and over again. The biggest statistical edge the market will ever give you is on the upside. And so if you buy up healthy blue chips or index funds and you wait, if you wait long enough, you're going to make money. That's the reality of it. If you wait long enough, you're going to make money. Don't get pulled into all these different directions wanting to short broad markets. Again, the biggest suckers in the market are people who short blue chip healthy companies long term, because those are the people that, even though you get all those things universally, no matter where the market is, they get talked into actually shorting like the healthiest long-term market, and end up losing big on it. And maybe they're the ones that are so super emotional about the downside anyway. But again, the biggest statistical edge is on the upside long term. Markets are going to move up long term. You might have crashes in between, you might have pullbacks, you might have corrections, but when you zoom out, markets are going to go up. And I would rather play that edge over any short edge. Again, everybody wants to be Michael Burry and make the next big short prediction, but because of that desire for validity, they end up over predicting crashes. Burry included. Yeah, I know a lot of people that were shorting Nvidia at 400, 500. They got beat up in those trades. So just be smart, guys. Typically, because I get so many different viewpoints, I always try to say the same thing. Nothing is definitive, and the people who act like it is definitive typically know the least. I'm not going to say Dunning-Kruger, but like people who act like they know for sure what's about to happen generally know the least, because people who have experience will recognize that nobody really knows. I think that's one of the most obvious things, is that nobody freaking knows. Yeah, pullbacks can be healthy. Yeah, again, I'm just going to say, if you're missing AI, if you're missing the AI bull run, man, what are some good businesses to start with AI, though, is the question, I love that I can be vague with AI. I can just say finish. That's why. Okay. Yeah, C3 earnings this evening. Digital marketing, yeah, for sure. Yeah, C3. C3 is a pretty new company, though. So it's got a great symbol, C3 AI. Here, let me get this out of the way. It's got a great symbol. But C3 AI is taking advantage of the bull run, but... Yeah, dude, I'm excited for when AI can start editing videos for me. Yeah, we'll cover Salesforce. We'll cover C3 probably this evening. Here, I forgot to do a poll here, guys, so let's do one. Does the SPY close green today? Vote on that poll. Does the SPY close green? Let me know what you guys think. Vote on that poll. Let me know how you feel. Chat. C3 AI. We got C3. We got yeah, we got C3. We have C3. We've got Salesforce. We have, in terms of earnings dropping today, those are big earnings this evening. Again, I don't think I'm gonna stream this. It's just not big enough, to be honest. But we got Salesforce, C3. We've got HP Inc. We've got American Eagle. Speaking of fashion brands that fail, American Eagle, we got Red Robin. So we got some companies reporting earnings, some tech companies. I don't know how big these are going to be in terms of like market responses, though. So here's AI. What about AMD? I know AMD has run a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, AI is pretty good. All right. So sorry, updating my AI code, kind of brainstorming and building stuff here. AI is just a fad like personal computers of the internet. Yeah, I mean, AI is just a fad, man. You know, just like automobiles was, dude. Like, automobiles, obviously just a trendy fad that nobody freaking uses anymore, man. Carriages are the way to go. They're the GOAT vehicle ever. For sure, you know. You know, shoes, what a fad. AMD down to 169. Is it time to buy a pullback in AMD? I don't know. AMD has dumped a lot. Should I buy AMD? It's down a lot. I think there's risks in buying it. GameStop? I'm in GameStop. It made a little run yesterday, dude. I hope it runs again today. It's back up to in the mid 20s or low 20s, I guess. Yeah. All right, chat. AMD's technically a blue chip. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it. It's got it. The reason I'm thinking about it is that it's pulling back some here. So it is dipping some. Yeah, programmers are still valuable. There's the SPY. Again, SPY broke over the 200 EMA, and now it's dipping down a little bit here. Okay, this is better. All right, so Yeah, AI certainly not perfect. Hold on a second. I need we buying AMD or what? I'm not buying AMD right now. Again, I'm not telling you to buy AMD either. I have no idea what you should do there. PCE is Friday. Hey, there's a SPY. There's the Q. Here's Nvidia. Nvidia now fighting its way back. Let's see if it drags the market back up. Nvidia pulling back to the 200 EMA. Let's see if it just drags the market up some. All right, so let me show what this means. No momentum for sure. Shopify. I'm in Shopify right now. I bought it after earnings. It's one of those stocks that I bought after earnings, but I don't really trust it right now. I could add to it. I'm red on it, but it's not a super big position. But I am red on it overall. I am red in equities on the day. Although I'm in Chewy right now. I forgot I was in Chewy, and so I am green on that. What else am I green? Nvidia is still pumping up. Again, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, so again, we don't really have we got inflation data later on this week on Friday. GDP data, jobless claims data tomorrow. That's a pretty big report. So look at GameStop down under the lows of the day, or at least testing it right now. Nvidia is still over the previous close, so Nvidia is green. The Q is red though. As I'm saying, people saying that the market's just following Nvidia. It's not. Nvidia is green on the day. Q is red. It has to do with tech in general, I think, right now. Walgreens, CVS. Yeah, everything's down slight. What's up, Connor? Yeah, I'm still kind of working on this code in the background chat. Okay, so the code worked. Let's let it plot. All right, so we're gonna get ready to start trading some here, I guess. Didn't we get funded on something yesterday? I wonder if it was Rhythmic. Let me see. All right. Also, guys, if you haven't already checked out my sponsor, check out Apex funded account programs. Apex is really nice because, again, most day traders lose. Most day traders lose. This is just the reality of it. It doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow, anything like that, who your mentor is. Most day traders are going to lose money. And so if you're wanting to learn to day trade and you put up, let's say, 5,000, you're probably going to lose that 5,000. Let's just be honest. Any experienced day trader will tell you the same thing unless they're trying to sell you a course or something like that. Most day traders lose. And so with that specific truth in mind, understand that it's a lot cheaper to try a funded account program than to put up thousands of dollars yourself and lose that. And so with that, Apex's funded account programs are one of the most legit challenges in the world. And it's a challenge. What they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill with a demo account first. If you could pass the test with a demo account in futures, then they fund you the same amount as the demo account. The base one's $25K. If you pass it, you got to make $1,500 in profit without losing $1,500 first. If you do that while following their rules, they fund you $25K with a 90% split. If you make whatever after that, you get a 90% split from it. For the time being, they do have their biggest sale yet going on right now. They have their sale where you can get the $250K challenge for only $16. It ends in 1 day. You can see you get 90 days off in a 1-day free pass, or a 1-day pass. So that means if you hit the profit target and pass the test today, you get funded today. 1 day left, basically 1.5 days left. And again, for that time being, when that ends, the sale ends for this as well. But again, for the time being, you can get this $250K challenge, where if you pass it, you get $250K in funding for $16, roughly. I think it's like $18 after tax. This includes real-time data as well. And if you were to pay for this real-time data yourself, it's going to cost about the same amount. So the value is there, regardless of people say there's value there. Number one, it teaches you how to trade with less risk. You're still risking something. And so it's a good middle ground of pressure where you're risking something. It's not just a regular paper account. But if you lose, you're out much less than putting up thousands yourself and risking that. But if you pass it, you still get 90% split, so it's similar to putting the money up yourself. It's just a good way to learn how to day trade. And in the futures market, while you can't trade individual stocks, you can trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, basically the SPY and Q price action, and there's no PDT rule. It's very similar to day trading stocks. There's just no PDT rule there. And so again, if you want to check it out, you can get the max discount at all times using coupon code BT. Beginner trading, understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance, have limitations. Understand I have no idea what I'm talking about, and I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. You want to vet all this stuff and check with them first. Make sure I'm correct here. Always check with them. And yeah, if you want to check them out, there's the link in chat. Appreciate the love, guys. Thanks so much. All right, so again, there's Nvidia dipping down some more here. So Nvidia running right into the previous closing price. All right, so I might buy this dip. I think I got. Let me pull up my Trade-A-Bait account. We did make a little bit of money on Trade-A-Bait yesterday. And this is a 50K funded account. All right, so again, we did make some money yesterday. Yeah, we're up. All right, let's see what we get. Look at the NASDAQ flush here. It depends on what Nvidia does. If you think Nvidia is going to bounce here, which it might. All right, we're going to buy this dip. We're up a little bit, small. Nice. Yeah, market's starting to turn. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut that. So we're down. I could have added to it, but it was just too much. It's too risky of a endeavor. But just a big breakdown. We'll see if we can make that back. I think I got funded on a Quant Tower one as well. Let me pull that up too. Yeah, I was buying the dip because we were heading into, Nvidia was heading into the 200 EMA, the VWAP, and the previous closing price. Usually that's a trade that'll work, but it's not going to work every time. Yeah, it's a big dump for sure. Breakdown just happened because it squeezed longs like me out. So I think there's a lot of people going long like I was that got squeezed out there. Any catalyst? Not really. I mean, there's not really any major reason for it. Wells Fargo CEO says loan demand isn't particularly strong, but that was like 30 minutes ago. So yeah, there's not really any major catalyst. It's just technicals, which are kind of ambiguous, and you know, people are gonna act like they know exactly why it happened, and you know, that's kind of how the internet goes. But the reality is we just kind of broke down on Nvidia. This is mostly driven by Nvidia's price breaking under the 200 EMA, under the VWAP, under the previous closing price. That's what's going on, is that we just broke under those major milestone levels, and so the rest of the market's kind of following suit here. Q's breaking down, Nvidia's breaking down, tech is falling. We got some Fed members speaking today, Jeep. Yeah, sometimes the reason why good setups don't work. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're gonna lose. We're up 1,000 plus in this account. It's typical for people to wait until I have a losing trade and then be like, oh, see, haha, this trade didn't work, you know. But if somebody's kind of celebrating when I lose, they're not really supportive anyway. Typically, they wait for after the trade because, you know, it's too risky to do before the trade. And so they wait for after the trade to say, see, I knew that was going to happen. But, like, very rarely is that true. Usually they're just trying to they're trying to poke me when I have a losing trade. It's normal, you know. Hey, thanks so much, Lucio. I appreciate it. Yeah, we have some members speaking today, but nobody major. Bostic might move things. John Williams speaks at 145, but he's not the biggest report. He's not the biggest catalyst for the market, I would say. Yeah, I think 95. I agree with you, Hash. The market's all probability. Yeah, no, you're good, V. It's all good, brother. Crypto, I don't know, man. I'm just, again, people can say whatever they want, but like in terms of stocks, I'm up thousands on the year. Thousands on the year. I have a very specific strategy that I find success with. I can't guarantee other people are going to find success with it. Usually it entails looking for big, deep pullbacks and legacy companies is what I guess the easiest way to describe them. It's not all legacy companies, but very well-known high revenue companies. I usually look for like big pullbacks short term. This can happen from earnings. It can happen from major catalysts. But once we have these big pullbacks, I usually buy them up and wait and turn into kind of like swing trade / investments. Again, trading that way, again, on Thinkorswim, I'm up thousands on the year. And so that's usually my favorite strategy. Crypto, I think, is just less predictable. I'm in crypto. I'm in some Bitcoin. I'm in some ETH. I'm in some crypto in general. But my main market is stocks for sure. It's what I'm the best at. I would say, like, day trading, people can say whatever they want. Like, sometimes I make money, sometimes I lose money day trading. But in terms of, like, where my real edge is, I would say swing trading and investing is my favorite way to trade. Just because, again, I'm up thousands. It's the easiest way for me to make money, I think. Yeah, I've never tried day trading crypto, to be honest. Not in any major way, I would say. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm not saying you can't find an edge with it. But just for me, I just never really had any good results from it or really tried it in any major way. There might be some edge. I think it's less regulated, so it's less efficient of markets, if that makes sense. And so there might be better edge there. But yeah. Alright, so we got Quant Tower up. Let me see. I thought I got funded on another account yesterday. Let me play with this. Okay, so that's what it was. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's try this. Okay. All right, so we got a little consolidation here. Celsius is up a little bit too much for me. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin and Ether can be powerful. I'm not against trading it if you could find some edge with it. Do your thing. I'm not against that. If you can find an edge, that is. Bitcoin on this, actually. I've never tried my indicators on Bitcoin. There we go. New all-time high on Nvidia today. Maybe Nvidia's close up there. Nvidia's at 1137s. But it's got to get a. I mean, it certainly could break all-time highs. I think we're pretty much flat and neutral in pre-market, and so the 1153 level is possible that we break it for sure. Yeah, sometimes AI will kind of slow your computer down. I'm seeing it right now. There we go. I wonder if I can get out of... Has anybody used AI to design some tattoos? There we go. That should hopefully help. All right, let's see if it fixed it. Not yet. Yeah, I've played with it a little bit, but it's just so much work. And again, I think you could have AI design you some tattoos, but whether you got an artist that can actually do the tattoos is a different story, you know. Yeah, look at Nvidia starting to bounce back. We're kind of too flat for me to make a position here. Yeah, we also have this challenge account that we're playing with here in the background if you guys want to see it. So we're down flat. So on Apex, the rules for DCAing here, is it only, can I use the same size increments, or is it only, can I only add to a losing position even if it's the same size a certain amount of times, is my question here. I know this is a challenge account, so this one doesn't matter, I think, but I might be wrong, and you guys might be able to help me here. All right, so we just took a piece off of this. We got 3 left. Now we're flat. We asked the chat. All right, so there we go. Take a little bit more off here. Nice. Catching the bounce. So we actually made a little bit of money here just now. So we got this account back to flat. And then we're up in this challenge account. So we're just kind of managing both of these here. You know, we thought we would get a bounce. It just took a little while. But yeah, you can see the P&L there. We'll go back to our actual funded account though. Here's our actual funded account, and again, you can kind of see we're neutral in the day now. We're down $5, so not too bad. We'll see if that continues, but super micro. Super micro. I think super micro. Let me see. Hold on. Give me a second. Super micro. I think super micro's had a rough couple days, but I mean super micro looks a lot like Nvidia, so I'm assuming that it's just gonna run with Nvidia now. I might be wrong. All right, so we're starting to bounce. Yeah. NASDAQ wants. Yeah, again, we're kind of flat right now, chat. Nvidia's neutral. Q is down for sure. But on the day, we are flat. AMC's gonna tank today. I don't know, man. AMC's already down today. It ripped up yesterday with GameStop, but again, they're kind of stagnating here. Bitcoin sideways. All right, so contract size of the additional entry is not regulated and is at the discretion of the trader. Yeah. Yeah, so you can add once to a losing position no matter the size. Again, we're kind of flat now, though. We're still playing with AI. I think a lot of this is going to depend on Nvidia. Nvidia right around 1140s. All right, team, it's about to be 9 a.m. I wish people would listen to what you were saying about Nvidia. Yeah, so look at what George here said, or Jorge. He said, I wish people would listen to you about what you were saying about Nvidia and what it is backing up its current price, which is not just hype. Their losses would be smaller. Yeah, man, I think, again, I've said this once, I'll say it again. I think if you're betting against the market long term, somewhere you've been misled, right? Like somewhere you've been misled if you're betting against the market long term. And I think this is something that is very common with retail traders, where instead of trying to buy dips and take advantage of the biggest statistical edge the market ever gives you, which is on the upside, instead they get wrapped up in trying to pick tops and call tops and short the most successful companies in the world. And I think that's a ridiculous strategy that clearly has the lowest edge out of anything available to trade on. Yeah, but again, at the same time, I think it is possible Nvidia corrects. I'm not here saying Nvidia is not going to correct. I think AI really is that big thing, that next big thing. But I also think that the internet was that big thing in the 2000, in the .com crash, and we still had a massive, massive correction in market crash. And so, I'm not one of those people that act like Nvidia is just never going to crash, never going to correct, never going to pull back. But I do believe in the technology, and I do think that people have to understand like how powerful AI systems are, and not just what they are today, which is getting better and better and better, but what they're going to look like in 5 years. Like, imagine with how good AI is today, right? This is the easiest way to understand like the potential of this. Imagine how good AI systems are today. Like, in that AI systems, I can have AI completely code me a website in 10 seconds. I can have AI completely build me a smartphone application in 10 seconds. I can have AI write me scripts, give me a business plan. I can send AI an image and have it decipher that image. Sora allows video production using AI. So movies are going to be written from AI. Now, again, that's what we have today. Now imagine what it looks like in 5 years. Like, imagine the crazy capabilities. And again, when you combine that with quantum computing, it's a different world right now. Like, the world's going to be different. And this is that big technology change. And so again, betting against that, I think, is risky. But at the same time, maybe we are extended on the upside. I really don't know. I'm in Nvidia. I'm up nicely in it. We'll see if it continues. Yeah, and again, to put this into perspective, I had people a year and a half ago that told me AI was a bunch of buzzwords. It was pure hype, that AI wasn't going to be anything big, that it's already been around, and that nothing's going to be crazy. And then we got the crazy bull run that we got last year from AI. And so they were very clearly wrong. And I think people have a hard time admitting they were wrong, and they just because I was right and they were wrong, some people get emotional about it. And I'm not talking about anybody here. I don't know if they're here or not. But again, I had a lot of people telling me AI was nonsense 2 years ago in chat. In the same way they were telling me AI was nonsense. And I was on the other side of it saying, nope, AI is that thing, And again, I think if you fast forward to 2 years later, today, I think very clearly AI was that big thing. Regardless of whether you think it's going to pull back or not now, I think you have to take where we're at now with AI and extrapolate the growth over the next 5 to 10 years and imagine where we're going to be. I think we're going to be in a crazy world of production and technology. And I think we are on the cusp of, if anybody's ever seen the movie Her, where the guy falls in love with an AI smartphone, I think we are on the cusp of that being possible today, and probably already there, but first they make fun, then they go crickets. Yep, 100%. Usually they don't go crickets. Usually they make fun, then they're proven wrong, and then they just kind of sit on everything I say, waiting to disagree, and out of just pure emotion and jealousy. That's usually what it really is. But all right, we're testing lows here. What was I gonna do? UFC picks this weekend. Oh yeah. Hold on. I mean, I got to go with Makhachev. He's obviously going to be... I'm a Louisiana boy, but I want Poirier to win, but he's not about to win. Makhachev's about to destroy him, unfortunately. I hate to say it. Makhachev's just that good, though. Sean Strickland versus Costa. I don't know, man. Costa hasn't won a fight in years. Strickland's good. I'm going to go with Strickland there. I think Strickland's got legit striking. And he's got really good defense. That Philly shell. It works for him, man. Let him keep doing it. Holland versus... Olek. I'm going to go with Kevin Holland. Even though Kevin Holland, I hope he wins. I think Kevin Holland's fun to watch. Jalton Almeida versus Alexander Romanov. Oof, this is a tough one. Almeida, legit jiu-jitsu skills for a heavyweight especially. I'm going to go with Almeida. Although I think that one can go either way. I think like jiu-jitsu is tough because if somebody has good defense against takedowns, if somebody has really good sub defense, then I think it's very, it can kind of stagnate the fight. But I'm gonna go with Almeida there. Randy Brown versus Dos Santos. I'm gonna go with Brown. Prelim. Prelims are a little, understacked. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I believe there's dudes getting catfished on Instagram now. I believe that for sure. Chewy announced earnings. Yeah, I'm in Chewy. I'm up. Yeah, those are basically the same picks as me. Makhachev, Strickland, Holland, Almeida, Romanov. Almeida over Romanov. And I guess I'm going to go with Randy Brown, although that one's up in the air. I don't know who that is. Let me make sure. All right, so we did break down a little bit here. Bouncing up a little bit. Q still down. Blocked. Yeah, I made the mistake of giving my phone number to some people that I met on the internet. Never again am I going to make that same mistake. Had to change my numbers and everything. People are just freaking... You know, I think you get such a mixed bag with people on the internet. Like, I think some people are like normal people in chat. But I think like a very small percentage of them are just super, like most of the time they're like really socially awkward. And so they get kind of like super weird and obsessive and just strange people, you know. And the anonymity of the internet mixed with like bad impulse control, mixed with like maybe a little bit of OCD causes them to get, some people, again, I'm not even claiming to be like a super big YouTube channel, but I have had stalkers, you know. I've given people my number, they've called me 30 times. Like, just, you know, I feel for them because it means that they must be really kind of at a point in their life where they don't have much going on. But still, man, just a mixed bag of people. If y'all ever wonder why I get really kind of protective and sometimes kind of quiet and sometimes, you know, I'm hesitant to give out too much information, that's why, man. You know, I got kids, I got a family. Who wins, Ryan or Jake? Oh, Ryan Garcia? I don't know. Jake's much bigger than Ryan, but I hope Ryan. All right. Still break it down a little bit. Is it time to buy the dip? I don't know. Let's try it. I'll buy one contract here, but it's risky. Right at the lows. All right, we're up a little bit here. Got a little bit of cushion. All right, so we just scalped a little bit. We're slightly green now. I can't. All right, we're kind of scalping these moves back and forth. We are currently up about $50 in the day. Sorry, my wife came in here. We called that bounce though, so we got a little cushion on the day. All right, we got 20 minutes. All right, guys. Tomorrow we got GDP data. We got PCE data as well. I'm waiting to see my daughter's report card come in. My daughter says she did good, but maybe she's trying to hang out with friends or whatever. GDP revision, yeah. All right, guys, so we did get a little bounce here. All right, so 95% cash, hour. Yeah, dude. Honestly, I got straight A's and B's all the way up until middle school, and then the middle school I went to wasn't the best school, and so I ended up switching schools and stuff. People were just mean, bro. I remember it's kind of ironic though. Like you look at the people that were like mean and like bullying. When you're in like 6th grade, 5th grade, 7th grade, like the really mean kids, you look at them now and most of them just didn't do anything, bro. Most of them are struggling. I was watching 17 again, and it said there's 3 reasons that people bully other people, and this is something that we've run into with my kids as well. One of them was like an underdeveloped brain. I don't know if 17 again is the most accurate reference for this, but it was interesting. Underdeveloped brain was 1, problems at home was 2, and then 3 I think was small parts, But it's interesting, man. I think that's probably somewhat true, even though it's a dumb freaking movie. 5:30 is tomorrow. I don't know. It's probably a little bit subjective, Nick. The ones that I grew up with, a lot of them are kind of like that. I didn't really get bullied that much outside of maybe like 5th and 6th grade. People were mean. But I was always kind of like, the ones that were mean were always kind of dumb, so like it never really worked. They would try to do like super cruel things, but they would never actually get away with it because they were, top 3 dumbest people in the world. All right, so the next GDP tomorrow is the second estimate for the first quarter of 2024. So the second estimate, So they're going to update the initial estimate, which I believe was 1.6%. And so tomorrow they're projecting 1.2%. So they're going to update it a little bit. Let's hope Nvidia falls a little bit so we can buy cheaper calls. I mean, it depends on how much. Yeah, I never had bullies like that. You know. In hindsight, the people that would always bully people, like, looking at it, they had bad, like, family life, like, in hindsight. Like, they were struggling. And, like, their family life was bad, you know. I think that's probably a pretty accurate correlation. All right, guys. Hey, we got 14 minutes. 14 minutes. We got the Q sitting at 455s. Cobra. I think it's logically dumb to be evil. It doesn't help you a lot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think it depends on what you define as evil. I think being too negative to other people, especially being like loud, negative and loud about it, I think that's dumb. Because I think that makes you reflect poorly. So I think it depends, you know. Like most things in life, it's nuanced. Oh, that's sad. Gustavo. What do we have going on today? Nothing really. Nothing major. Yeah, I think kids can be mean, you know, and like you really start to relate to it when you have children. Like when you have children, like it hurts if your kid gets treated poorly, you know. Like my daughter had people messing with her when she was in like 5th grade, and luckily she turned out fine. She's super secure with who she is and like just a good kid. But she had, you know, kids are just mean, man. They're cruel, you know. Playground politics is like a legit thing, and sometimes that can get a little rough, I think. All right, guys, so we're still kind of cracking lows. Nvidia's starting to bounce back up. We're at 1130s. Still breaking down in a downward trend. The Q is still down as well. The question is, are we down so much to where we start bouncing, or do we keep on dipping at the opening bell? Well, no, that's actually the word for it, is playground politics. So, like, there's typically an adjustment in kids' psychology when kids start to be more social and they get thrown into a more social environment. So, like, say a kid stays home until kindergarten or whatever, and then all of a sudden they get, you know, they have to experience like a social setting with many different kids, many different personalities, different groups, different cliques of kids. Like, that's a real thing. It's called playground politics, and it's healthy for the kid to have to deal with it. Like, they have to learn how to deal with it, and the kids that learn how to deal with it effectively are usually the most balanced kids when they get older, where you got some kids that aren't, you know, it varies. It's interesting, but yeah, it's a real thing. All right, so tomorrow is the second revision final estimate. It's the third and final estimate for the quarter. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Expectations of 1.2%, so a little bit of a decrease in GDP data. We also have payroll numbers, or no, we have PCE data again expected Friday, the day after tomorrow. It's expected for core PC at 2.8%. On the month, it's expected at 0.2%. Yeah, as a kid, I was like shy. Like, I remember I would make friends, but I was so obsessive, like OCD obsessive about different things. And I just had a lot of ADHD hyperactivity. I would say above average hyperactivity. I'm not going to call it ADHD. Some people don't like that word because they think it's made up or whatever. But I was just hyperactive, man. I was running around, couldn't sit still. And I think sometimes that, hurt my friend making abilities. But I had by the time I was like 13, I had a pretty good stable group of friends, and I have ever since, but when I was really young, it just took a while. I adjusted a little bit better when I was like after 10 or 11, it got easier, prior to 10 or 11, like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, I remember it was tough, took a while. Your hair looks good. Love you.
Love you.
Have a good time. Be safe. Make good decisions. I love you. Your hair looks good. Be good. Be safe.
Oh.
Here, hold on, guys. All right. Sorry, my daughter's going somewhere for a few days, so tell her to make good decisions. She just got her hair dyed blonde. So. Yeah, I feel you guys. I get it. I'm introverted in nature. It might not seem that way because I run a live stream where I'm sitting here BSing with everybody constantly, but yeah, I'm introverted in nature. I was a really shy. Even when I was like a teenager, I wasn't the most outgoing person in my friends group. I was kind of quiet, shy, apprehensive to meet new people, almost nervous, typical teenage stuff, I guess. Yeah, I'm still in Intel. I haven't even looked at it though in the last few days. It's down today, but I mean, look, we're basically flat on the current position. I think we sold a little bit of it and avoided. We cut the position down a lot, and on the last position, we are actually slightly green in our current position on Intel. Slightly. It's not a huge green, but yeah, could be worse, I guess. All right, guys, market open is in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, my daughter is a natural blonde. Like, her hair's blonde. Sure, her hair was really blonde when she was young, and then it got darker as she got older, So she just kind of dyed, put some streaks in it. That's all she did. Let me see, where's GameStop at? GameStop's still at 22. It's been trying to hold that level. We'll see if it continues to hold. Inflation date is Friday. again, tomorrow is GDP data. Friday is inflation data. All right, we got about 4 minutes left. 4 minutes. We're going to get some initial trading out the way. We're slightly green heading into the open. Yeah, we'll see what we get. I haven't even pulled up Twitter at all today. Maybe it's for the best. I still have a hard time calling it. X. I always refer to it as Twitter. All right, so we're cracking lows again. We got 2.5 minutes until the market opens here, chat. All right, so the ex-OpenAI board member Helen Toner finally spoke about why the board fired Sam Altman. Plus, let's see what happened. So again, Helen Toner, ex-OpenAI board member, spoke out on why they fired Sam. She said, in some cases, outright lying to the board. Sam Altman was in some cases outright lying to the board, and the board found out about the launch of GPT through Twitter. And there's this whole thing on the interview. Let's see if it shows any more. All right, guys. So again, here's the opening bell. We got 1.5 minutes left. AI is getting so freaking good, man. All right, guys, here we go. 1 minute. All right, guys, here's the opening bell. 5 seconds. We'll see if we can trade into it, but I got to let the opening here. All right, baby. Okay. Love you. All right, guys, we got to bounce up. Market's rebounding a little bit. Let's watch Nvidia into the opening bell. We also watch GameStop, AMD. I'm going to put just these two charts up, Nvidia and GameStop, and then we're going to keep the NASDAQ up on the left side here. We cover a little bit of everything. If Bitcoin's making any like outrageously big moves, we'll cover it, but it just depends. Bitcoin's pretty stagnant. Tesla bouncing up. See, yeah, here's the rebound we were looking for. What a rip. I'm gonna short this. I know it's risky, but such a big move usually doesn't hold into the opening bell. Maybe I'm gonna get punished. We're gonna add one position to it. Yeah, punished. We'll switch to our challenge account now and see if that treats me better. Look, here's that. We'll pull this up here. How do I pull my challenge account up? There it is. Can y'all hear that? My house alarm's going off. We got our challenge account back up. Alright, so we got a big run at the opening bell, but alright. See, I'm watching, what is this? Tesla flying up right now. We'll see if the market holds or what. Alright, so we are scalping a little bit in our regular account. Again, sometimes I have to take off stream. There we go. All right, so we ended up making $300 in the account we got beat up on. Again, sometimes we just got to pivot to off-stream trading just to make it less emotional. And so, again, I'm sure some people maybe thought that I was doing that. I just, again, on stream, especially with everybody kind of being like, see, I told you so. You shouldn't have done that, or you should have done this. You know, it's easier to trade off stream sometimes. But yeah, now we are up $300 on the day in our actual funded account. We got a cushion. I guess I can trade on stream for the rest of this. Boom. All right, so we're trading on our funded or on a challenge account on this one here. We're up about 6. We got to make 3. We'll take some more off there. All right, so we just made about 400. GameStop's starting to try to fight back. All right, so we're gonna have to cut the rest. So we're up 365 on this one. I like this downwick pressure. Let's try to buy this up some. All right, so we got one contract here. We can also add one contract to it if we want. I like the downwick pressure here. All right, so we just made about $100. We're up 405 on this account on the day. Yeah, again, I'm not claiming to be some day trading guru or expert or anything like that. You guys know me. I'm gonna be honest any way I can. Hope that makes sense. And again, if you want to day trade, but I am up. This is an actual 50K funded account that we're up 4 figures on, is what I will say. And again, so if you want to help support the channel, again, their big 250K challenge for only $16 ends tomorrow. So we got a day and a half. For the time being, you can get funded on a 250K challenge. If you pass it, you get funding of $250,000 with a 90% split. It only costs $16 to try the challenge. If you lose, you're only out $16 for the first month. And again, that challenge ends tomorrow. In the futures market, you can day trade short, buy market, sell market. Very similar to day trading stocks. You can't trade individual stocks, but in futures, there's no PDT rule, and you can basically trade the SPY and Q price action without the PDT rule. And again, Apex is one of the most legit in the world. They have paid out millions of dollars, almost $200 million in payouts here. And again, for the time being, you get this challenge, the 250K challenge, for only $16. The rest of them are 90% off, and the one-day pass is live. So again, if you pass this one, you make 250K in funding. You get 250K in funding with a 90% split, and it includes real-time data. If you look up how much real-time data costs outside of this, it's going to be very similar. So the value is definitely there. The base one, the cheapest one, you get 25K in funding. You just got to make 1,500 without losing 1,500 and following their rules and conditions. Again, they're a sponsor. I'm biased, but this sale ends tomorrow. And again, you can see they've paid out since 2022 $182 million basically. They pay out an average of $11 million plus a month, roughly. Crazy good. Again, one of the most legit ones in the world. And but again, they are a sponsor. I'm biased. They pay me money. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. But if you want the discount, you can check out the link right there. You can use coupon code BT. Beginner Trading will get you the max discount. Remember, they're a sponsor. Do not copy me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Not an investment professional. All that good stuff. Yeah, so there's the dip. We mostly made our money shorting versus long trades. GameStop is moving up a little bit, though. All right, Tesla fighting its way back up as well. What am I spreading? Intel, Home Depot. Chewy were pretty green on it. That's nice. Walgreens. AMC trying to fight his way back up with GameStop. There's the green action. Look at showing up in the market here. Market's starting to bounce back. Again, Nvidia's down. No, you could use it outside the US. All right, so market just tapped up highs. GameStop now dipping down a little bit, but the NASDAQ is ripping up. Mostly driven by Tesla here. Hey, buddy. All right. All right, so look at this big dip here. I guess I'm gonna buy this dip up. All right, so we just made a quick little $100, up $505 on the day. Again, buying that pullback here, and then he kind of retraced back some. All right, so we did retrace back up. I thought buying that would work. All right, so also, guys, check out one of my other sponsors, Chart Prime. So this is probably like my 4th plug all day in about 3.5 hours. But check out Chart Prime. It's a trading view service. You could use it in stocks, crypto, forex, futures, anything with a symbol on trading view. I've heard it works really well in crypto as well. I always try to backtest this live so people can kind of see what it's about. But check it out, guys. Look at this. So again, number one, you can kind of see it shows wedges. But let's backtest the buy and sell signals over the last few days here. This is a little crowded, so we're going to look at this. Look at this sell signal. Beautiful drop. Hours. This is a 5-minute chart, so this is hours of red action. Buy signal here. You got a nice little bounce. Strong sell signal there. Follow through. Buy signal here right before this massive rip. Sell signal here. You got nice breakdowns for hours and hours, too. And so, again, I can't fake what I'm showing you. You can also see the wedges, all that good stuff. Tons of stuff on the chart. Look at the strong signals, though. That's the ones that you really want to backtest. So, like, let's backtest just the strong ones. Strong signal here, follow through. We can call this one wrong. So let's say that one's wrong. That's one. Strong signal here. That one definitely worked. Strong signal there. That one definitely worked. Strong signal there. That one got to follow through. This one was wrong. So that's 2 that were wrong. Strong signal here definitely worked. Strong signal here. Look at the huge breakdown you get from it. And so, again, only 2 of these didn't work. Let's tally how many of them there were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. 2 out of 7 didn't work. So almost 75% accuracy. I would say about 70% accuracy. And again, that's just a small piece. Backtest it yourself. They have tons of stuff. Oscillators, backtesters, screeners. It's like $40 a month. Look at these edges here. Sometimes the edge can be just really powerful. Look at this sell signal, and then look at the huge breakdown you get. Look at this buy signal, huge rip up. I can't guarantee it's going to work. They're a sponsor of mine as well, so of course I'm biased because they pay me money. But yeah, check it out. Here's the link. It's called Chart Prime. Yeah, we're gonna buy this dip. We made $500+ Let's see if we can catch a little bounce. There we go. All right, so we cut it. Very quick little scalp, but again, it was based off of CP, Chart Prime. I'm not telling you to buy anything, though. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose. Yeah, Chart Prime's dope, dude. It really is. All right, so we're up almost $600 today. Tomorrow we got GDP data. We got revision GDP data, that is. So revision GDP data tomorrow. We also have jobless claims numbers tomorrow. So we got jobless claims, GDP revision, and then Friday we got PCE data, the personal consumption expenditure index. All right, so look, there's the bounce, man. Again, Chart Prime's impressive, dude. I'm probably going to go ahead and get out of here, but look, there's the bounce. Again, Chart Prime, legit, in my opinion. I can't guarantee anything. Test it yourself, of course. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow bright and early for GDP data, PCE data, Friday. A lot of good stuff. Are y'all red or green so far today? We're very green on everything, basically. I think. Maybe not. market's trying to bounce back. Green. Oof. All right. So here, I guess we'll hold on. I know I said we were leaving, but we're about to get funded on this account. Let me see if I can get funded here again. I'm gonna add one more position to this, and then on this dip, we're gonna add our size right back, and let's see if we could hit it. Piece off there. Look, we're at $2,000. We need 1,000, and we might add it right back here. There we go. There we go. There we go. See, we're at chart prime, man. I'm telling you, dude. I think we would have been there too if we would have just held. All right, so we're out. So yeah, we're at $2,500 in profit. We need 500 more bucks here. So I don't know if we're gonna wait and try to do that for the rest of the day or what. But again, chart prime, dude. Abercrombie and Fitch. People always ask me to do like one on stream so you can see it work on stream. Like, look, this is the one that showed up, and again, this is the one that showed up, and then look at that. So impressive, in my opinion, just genuinely impressive. All right, we got it. Yeah, so we just got funded in about 10 minutes on using one chart prime signal. Look at that. I can't guarantee it's going to work for you, but we hit our $3,000 target already. I'm out of here. Y'all be good. Love you all. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.